Okay, so as Chris read earlier, I received a grant from New York State Council on the Arts, administered through the Adirondack Lake Center for the Arts in Blue Mountain Lake, to write songs. I'm a songwriter, so to write songs in the genre of contemporary folk and traditional jazz, something relatively new for me. I've been writing contemporary folk, country, Americana for quite some time, but here's what happened. During the pandemic, I took an online songwriting workshop through Cafe Lena with a guy named Dan Navarro. Dan was a co-writer of Pat Benatar's song We Belong. He writes a lot for film, and he's a very well-known person in the contemporary folk Americana world. And so I thought that'd be great to be able to take a songwriting workshop with him. And in that workshop, we did some co-writing, meaning two or more writers get together and write a song together. In this case, it was two writers. And he paired me with a lady whose name is Maria Borges. Maria's from California. She claims not to play any musical instrument or even understand music, but she writes. So why he paired the two of us, I'm not sure, but he did. And I got her lyrics and I read them. And I said, these are really nice. I have no idea what the hell I'm going to do with them. Because the kind of songs I write are about like the tragic, twisted side of love, or country songs or things like that. And not at all jazz sounding. They're basically, contemporary folk songs like John Prine stuff and things like that. So I get these lyrics and they start off this way. I'm caught up in a dreamy flight of your sparkling silver starlight, and though my words are left unheard, I wander these busy streets. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do with this? And then I start thinking, you know what? That sounds like something that you'd hear in a cafe in Paris or New York or something like that, with maybe like Tony Bennett kind of a feel. And my songs were all like traditional stuff, right? So I started thinking, well, how am I going to learn jazz chords? I'd listened to jazz, but I didn't know it as music. So I started exploring what some of the chords were. So instead of like a regular C, I'd come up with a C major 7, a little more jazzy sound, and then diminished chords and things like that. And then I started to listen to some progressions, which happen a lot in jazz. I figured, okay, let me give it a shot. And I came up with this. On the Other Side of the World, Maria Borges and Carl Rubino. I'm caught up in a dreamy flight of your sparkling silver starlight, and though my words are left unheard, I wander these busy streets. And as your heart softly sings, tell me of your hopes and dreams, though in separate places tonight, we're under the same moonlight. The city lights are glistening, my beating heart is listening to hear your voice through the streetcars that come and go. 'Cause here I am, restless as the wind, as distant as the moon, on the other side of the world from you. As I search for you in the stars, I'm sending my love out to where you are. I want to shout out, I want to scream, tell the world you mean everything to me. 'Cause here I am, cold and alone. Street lights shine through falling snow. A light as distant as the moon on the other side of the world from you. The city lights are glistening. My heart is listening to hear your voice through the softly falling snow. 'Cause here I am in our shared moonlight, calling out your name tonight on the other side of the world from you. On the other side of the world from you. Thank you. So most of those lyrics were Maria's. I did some rewriting on the lyrics, but I attribute those mostly to her, and I hope to do another song with her at some point remotely, because that was really special. So that was pretty jazzy for me. It had a lot of jazz elements in it, and that was written before this grant. But then when I started getting back into writing this stuff again, I thought I wanted to write something that wasn't as jazzy, maybe just borrowed a little bit from jazz, like two different little things, you know, like a major 7 chord or a diminished here or there, but not as jazzy, a little more folky than the other one. So here comes I Remember You There. I remember you in every place we ever went. When I walk by one, it's like you were heaven sent. I stare at your shadow, it stares back at me, and I remember you there. In the night when I wake up in a cold sweat all alone, rain pounding on the window glass where we once made our home. Bed's empty on your side where I remember you there. I held your hand as you slipped away. I remember you on that final fateful day, your cold, blank stare like you were looking out, trying to look back in. Lying under white sheets in a cold hospital bed, you said you'd be my angel if you couldn't be there instead. In the space left behind where my heart used to live, I remember you there. When the tears streamed down my face, I could almost feel your warm embrace. I can almost feel you, yeah. And I remember you there. Almost seems like we can still share our sweet times, and in the darkest of my moments for the rest of my life, I'll always remember when I was yours and you were mine, and I'll remember you So that was written from a viewpoint of death, but the viewpoint of the person or people left behind when someone's gone. All right, so here's another more jazz-like version written pretty recently during the course of this grant, Under the Light of an August Moon. Under the light of an August moon, we must really be a sight as we trip the light, fantastic, in the early evening light. Long after our tender years, way past our time to swoon, our eyes still hold a twinkle under the light of an August moon. Under the light of an August moon, although love can fade with time, ours has found a way to grow like a rose on the vine. To the beat of an imaginary song, before the summer sun is through, we'll hold on tight and spin in time under the light of an August moon. They called us a romantic comedy. We'd never know a second act. Like a wave that crashes on a beach, we'd be over just like that. But until the final sunset that always comes too soon, we'll dance each night till our summers end under the light of an August moon. Under the light of an August moon, we still plan, we still scheme. Our eyes have glazed, our hair's turned gray, but we still have our dreams. Until the final curtain falls, when all our world grows dim, we'll dance each night like we did back then under the light of an August moon. I thought that had like an old jazzy feel in the lyrics, you know, and I've never really written like that before this grant. Okay, so here's well, let's see. What do I have time for? Do I have time for 3 more? Okay. This one, I'm going to do another one first. I did some acting. No, I'm going to do this one now. I'm still writing this one, I think. Yeah. It's called Moonlight Over Manhattan. I was born in New York and lived there till about the 6th grade, and I went to law school there, so I spent some time in New York anyway. So this borrows from what I know. The Staten Island ferry's aglow on New York Harbor, and the moon lights up the bay. The Harlem River is a maze of little slivers, and moonbeams dance on the waves. Skaters in the moonlight in Rockefeller Center, clip-clop of carriages on pavement wet with rain. Pretzel vendors render their salty little tenders under moonlight on the Great White Way. Moonlight over Manhattan means anything can happen when Mr. Moonbeam looks down on you. Moonlight over Manhattan bathes everything in satin, let it cast its spell on you. A Apollo's red letters simmer in the moon glow as sounds of R&B fill the air. From a sax on any corner, jazz notes blow for quarters, and a poet reads to pigeons in Washington Square. Moonlight over Manhattan means anything can happen when Mr. Moonglow looks down on you. Moonlight over Manhattan bathes everything in satin. Let it cast its spell on you. The moonlight casts a beacon to those who go out seeking the magic of the moon at night. So take my hand, my dearest, and the light of love will steer us under moonlight over Manhattan tonight. Moonlight over Manhattan means anything can happen when Mr. Moonbeam looks down on you. Yeah, moonlight over Manhattan bathes everything in satin. Let it cast its spell on you. Moonlight casts a beacon to those who go out seeking the magic of the moon at night. So take my hand, my dearest, and the light of love will steer us under moonlight over Manhattan tonight. Or something like that. Thank you. Okay, two more. This song's inspired by time I spent acting at Depot Theater in Westport many, many moons ago. This was before Depot became an equity theater, so that local yokels like me had an opportunity to act with real actors and actresses from New York. And I learned quite a bit from them. One of the things that I observed that I thought was absolutely remarkable was that some of them would remain in character through the entire practice time and run of the show, even out in like the civilian world. So we would typically at Depot practice for 2 weeks, rehearse, learn our lines, and then put the show up for 2 weeks. So there was this one guy, I'd run into him at like Dirty Ernie's and other places, and he was playing the role, I don't remember which show it was, but he was playing the role of a guy much older than he was, and he would stay in that role. So I started to think about that, and I started to think about how many people assume roles in their day-to-day life, and here that was the basis for the illusions we become. He ducks inside the stage door, leaves the bustling crowd behind. He paints his character in the mirror as he sees himself subside. He knows his lines oh so well, his character he's become. Covered up in actor's clothes, like a sheath that's loosely hung. At curtains rise, he'll feel their eyes, and gaze is not discreet. He feels like he's naked before strangers in their seats. A momentary glance from a face in the dark. Spark of connection extinguished before it starts. We hide behind our makeup in ever-changing scenes. We wrap ourselves in statement clothes and go about our schemes. Transitory actors, the illusions we become. We stumble with a troubled step to someone else's drum. Half unraveled fictions in the costume dance we've spun. Transitory actors, the illusions we become. His lines flow effortlessly till the stage lights go down. As the makeup stains his wipe-off cloth, the silence rings so loud. Exiting the stage door to the cadence of the street, he becomes again what it is he is, till the next illusion speaks. But in the end, do we really know if we're the actor or the part? We fool ourselves with fantasies, facade becomes our art. Transitory actors, the illusions we become. We stumble with a troubled step to someone else's drum. Half unraveled fictions in the costume dance we've spun. Transitory actors, the illusions we become. And are we nothing but illusions in a crowd? Nothing but the illusions in a crowd. Are we nothing but the illusions we become? Nothing but the illusions we become. One more. We got one more. Good time for one more, right? Okay. Icicles melting, late winter rains. Glistening dewdrops slide down window panes. There's no forever, all things must change as time, sweet time, slips away. Children's sweet laughter fades from the halls. Yesterday's flowers wilt in the fall. Hearts grow old, weaken in the haze, and time, sweet time, slips away. Empty seats at the harvest table call. Ghosts come to visit, they dance in the hall. Branches tap the window like spirits in the night, and time slips away. For all the do-it-laters and the not ready yets, you better get to doing what you haven't done yet. 'Cause before you know it, it's the end of the line. Yeah, time, sweet time, slips away. Yeah, you better get to doing what you haven't done yet. 'Cause time slips away. Yeah, time slips away, away. I think I'm still working on that one. Anyway, that's it. I'm playing in Plattsburgh on November 17th at 7 at the Woodwire and Voice Coffee House at the United Methodist Church. And then I'll be playing at Venetian Soda Lounge in Burlington, but I'm not sure of the date yet. So thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks. This is a great audience.